What's going on, everybody? Wilson here, your spiritual hype man, and I want to thank y'all for being amazing and listening. I love seeing that people are continuing to download, especially when there's a little bit of a break and we drop another episode. So thank you again. We are looking to bring another guest on, other than Patty. Patty will definitely be our guest as well, but I look forward to scheduling a couple more people to discuss some of their trials and tribulations and the things that they've gone through. They're going to be a plethora of people, and actually, it'll be fun because you'll get a close relationship invitation slash to the homies that I've become homies with throughout the last couple of years, and I look forward to hearing what they got to say about their trials and tribulations and how they made things happen, the days that they felt not so good, days that felt good, and how they continue to move forward. That being said, today I want to talk about this was a discussion I had with one of my homies. I think maybe at some point I'll get him on the podcast. But he had shared with me, like, he runs his own business, and obviously whether you're running your own business, or you're working at a corporate job or whatever the fuck you're doing, to exchange your time, effort, energy for the concept and notion of value in terms of currency, it can get to you, right? It can definitely get to you. It's gotten to me, and obviously some previous episodes I've discussed it. So we were talking, and one of the things that he picked up was that he now physically, when he gets home, he's got like a nail outside on his tree, and he hangs his hat. And that's like a parallel to him hanging all his worries and all his frustrations and all that on the tree. And once he walks through the house, he's forgotten it until the next workday. And I think it's beautiful. One, I think it's beautiful for a couple of reasons. One, to have that raised awareness and consciousness growing or ever growing, I think is a beautiful thing, right? To be able to understand how you're feeling in the moment, or how you continuously start feeling in certain situations, and then how maybe these situations are just part of what you do until when you can, figure out a way to be less stressed or be less angry, right? Like, so in this particular situation, he's working through certain things, having employees, growing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, which is going to bring on new experiences and obviously trials and tribulations and, these pressures of making sure that you do things right and you have all these other entities, et cetera, right? But I would say the notion of like being aware of that, and then being aware of the fact that if you don't separate it and you continue to let it affect you, again, once you enter that doorway, then you get into these situations at home that you're being affected by these emotional feelings and these emotional thoughts that can ultimately negatively impact the way you feel at home, the way you feel about other people in your house, and then ultimately your situations with your loved ones. And so when we spoke about it, he now does this. It's kind of like his breath work or his, physical, mental meditation in terms of some sort of way. Again, it's all vocabulary, right? It's all just vocabulary. It's him hanging a hat outside on a door and knowing that like this physical thing is going to help him alleviate some of his frustrations from like the everyday hustle and grind of being an entrepreneur, or like owning your own business and growth, etc. But again, it can be considered his own meditation, his own way of bringing peace and calm to his head or to his emotional state. And so I thought that was really, really, really powerful, like in regards to, one, him being aware, two, coming up with something like that to actually physically see it. And so maybe, again, this could be something that you can reflect on. It's like, how do you come home from work, or when you're done at the end of the day and going through, this thing that we have to do in order to, provide based on society's way of of running itself, which again is like a whole nother episode that we can get into. But for the sake of this episode, I would say, how do you, it would be great to reflect on how do you come home from work, or if you work from home, like how do you then separate, I'm working from home to like, oh, all right, I'm done. Work is behind me. XYZ, this client, whatever. But then how do you separate that from coming home or being done with work to, okay, now I am, your spiritual hype man at home with my family, versus I'm the spiritual hype man still thinking about work, still thinking about the clients, still thinking about everything else that's been going on this whole day. Oh, thinking about the Karen or thinking about whatever, fill in the blank, that this happened, or this door got smashed, or the camera got broken, or the wrong email got sent out. There wasn't an apostrophe, like whatever happened in your situation. How do you deal with that when you come home? Do you have a way to transition from those thoughts, those emotions, that psyche to your home life with your closest friends, family, so that way that whatever happened throughout the day or through whatever happened throughout your work day didn't affect your home situations in a way or in a negative way that could impact relationships and how that day goes about? Because I'm sure we've all been there, where something happens at work and then you bring it home, and it creates this tension inside of you, and all of a sudden somebody does something or doesn't put the dishes away or whatever, fill in the blank, and then you either explode or you get into an argument. So I felt like I've done it, and I still do it, and sometimes I feel like it's a little bit harder for me, because, well, not for me, just for anybody in general, right? I think it's hard to become aware of it, to like figure out ways to actually get to that level of hanging your hat and completely disconnecting from your, let's just call it the 9 to 5, whatever it is, like whatever your 9 to 5 is, or 9 to 10 or whatever it is. Sometimes I feel it's harder for me though, because like I work at my house. This is like, I have an office in here. So throughout the day I'm working, and then I'm still in my own home while I'm working. And so there's been times like once I get done doing whatever I'm doing for work, then I'm still like, like there's no, well, I guess there is a tree. I guess I can go outside and like hang my fucking hat outside and come back inside. Like, right. So I can do that. Before, it was just kind of like I got out of the office and I like went into my living room, you know what I mean? Or like went and watched a movie, or like I went in to eat in the dining room. It's like, I was still in that mode. I was still thinking, and I work with Patty. So like Patty and I work together, on certain projects and things like that. So it's been something that I've worked on as well. And even talking about it now, it's like, how conscious have I been of that in the last couple of days? And to be honest, I haven't been as conscious of like, hey, I'm done with work. Let me put my hat here. You know what I mean? Like I haven't been as conscious. So this is a great episode for me. So haha. I hope it helps you, and I hope it gives you a little bit of perspective of, maybe today or the next time you go to work, on the drive home, what's something that you can do to help you just detach from the things that you're doing, in order to make money or build your legacy, etc., in terms of the work stuff, and really figure out a way to, again, if it's visual, if it's something that you need to do, whether it's hanging your hat or it's go to the gym or, whatever it is for you. But I would say the point of perspective is to reflect on, how am I coming home from work? How conscious am I of the effect that whatever I'm holding on to from work is affecting me at my house or my home with my family and friends? And then how can I then work on detaching and giving myself that time and space to be outside of the person that I am at work? Because sometimes I feel like for me that is it is kind of tough, because if you're always thinking about, okay, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What do I got to do? Here's what I got to do. How we're going to make it? How we're going to do it? Like, it can be pretty fucking draining. So sometimes I feel like, acknowledging it, being aware of it, and then implementing something that works for you would be amazing. So shout out to our homie John. His name is John. Shout out to him, and I appreciate him for sharing, and I hope it helps for you. Maybe the tree and the nail thing is something that you'll incorporate, or what is that for you? All right, homies. Thank you again so much for listening. Keep crushing it. Keep going out there and doing your damn thing, and I will see you again on the next one. And don't forget, nothing changes until you do. Peace.